Welcome to the Fannattics Show Live, where we talk about anything and everything Magic fan related, not affiliated, on quest to our team's first ever NBA championship. And now to introduce your host of the stream from Orlando, Florida. Y'all know him best, Hollywood.
Y'all already know what's going on. It's your man Hollywood, just an Orlando Magic fan, and we are live. Action, man! What a speech from our boy Dwight Howard. We play the song. Should we play it? It's a celebration. Fuck it. Dwight Howard, Hall of Fame, 2025.
Watch out, beware, gonna get ya.
Yeah, big shouts out to the boy Dwight Howard. And man, for those who missed his Hall of Fame speech, it is on YouTube already. Man, he shouted out the Lakers. LeBron got a big ovation. He even thought it was for the Lakers, and then they realized when they showed LeBron again and everyone started going crazy, he was like, oh, LeBron's here. Man. But my favorite part, if I'm being completely frank, just cutting it short. I'ma be completely frank. My favorite part, it even made me tear up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. It was when they showed Coach Stan Van Gundy, man. And for those who don't know about Stan Van Gundy. He was the coach who took us to the finals. He was the coach during that Dwight Howard era. Man, it was a time. And during Dwight's departure, they fired Stan. And, people say it's and Dwight asked for them to fire Stan. And then it got a little awkward between them. So, of course, they fired Stan. But then Dwight still left. So people were still bitter off of that. And they've always had, like, beef, so on and so forth. But they've been able to hash it out. And the best thing was during this speech, right? He literally shouted out Stan, and he said, I want to say it again, without Stan Van Gundy, there would be no Dwight Howard. When I tell you, when I heard it again, man, like, it was tough when Dwight Howard left. We've all talked about it. We just mentioned it in the pre-show, talking about what Dwight Howard meant to me as a Magic fan. We talked how it felt when he left, but when Stan Van left, it definitely was a piece of the team that's it. It wasn't going to be the same. Stan Van was a key reason. He was a great coach for us. He was a great coach. So it was just really cool to see, regardless of how it ended, between Dwight, between the Magic, between Stan, the fact that Stan was there and the fact that Dwight did mention him directly, showed him on the camera, and literally even mimicked his voice, and like you saw that Stan really liked that. And I'm not gonna hold you, it really just felt good as a Magic fan. It felt good as a Magic fan to see that, because it's like, man, we grew up with the beef, we grew up with Dwight leaving, and the fact that he was able to shout out Stan Van Gundy, that it felt great. It felt great to see. Another thing was with Shaq there too, with Shaq, Dominique, who else was there? Robert Parrish was there. And man, it was just a good amount of legends in the building. Of course, LeBron, the Redeem team, everybody there. But man, it was just a fun. It was kind of surreal. Not gonna lie, to see Dwight Howard in the Hall of Fame, gear and talking on stage, and it's showing Basketball Hall of Fame. It was my first ever Hall of Fame like speech that I watched live and reacted to and doing this type of thing for. And it just feels weird, if I'm being completely honest. It feels like it was just him talking on stage, but it really hasn't hit me like that's the Hall of Fame. Like, he's in the Hall of Fame. That's it. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I just still feel like I'm stuck in a time loop. You know what I mean? Like, mentally, I still feel like I'm in that 15 to 20 range. And it's like, bro, I'm 25 already. Like, oh, man, life is hidden. And it's like, man, like, these moments like this is showing, like, nah, bro, time is passing by. But, man, Dwight Howard in the Hall of Fame. getting his jacket, Shaq being there, Shaq presenting him, Shaq, and then we had I forget his name, but the introduction was pretty fire for Shaq, and it was the guy who be on I think it's called the NBA Inside That or something on NBA TV. He's really famous, but that dude I think something Ali, or I might be tripping. But that reporter, he's really famous. So the fact that he started that speech and then literally described Superman, the actual comic book character, and then just mentioned Dwight and was like, that's a great way to describe Dwight, ain't it? And then the fact that Dwight Howard also mentioned Shaq in the speech. Dwight did say some funny things in the speech, like the Amber Rose and all of that stuff, but like he also mentioned Shaq, and he was like the fact that the two real Supermen are here. So the fact that that division, that whole beef, that whole like now you're not in the same league, put all that to the rest and put all that in the past and have them just be together now, and just now we have to retire his number. That's the only thing that's left for the Orlando Magic, is to retire his number, to truly make this offseason has been the craziest in Magic history. We even had Dwight Howard go into the Hall of Fame. What an offseason. But Magic fans, y'all already know it's your man Hollywood, just an Orlando Magic fan. It's a surreal feeling to see the greatest Magic player of all time going into the National Basketball Association's Hall of Fame. Deserves it. Deserved to be on the 75 team and wasn't. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Took us to the 2009 NBA Finals. Beat the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron. Beat the Celtics with Paul Pierce, Garnett, Allen. It was just a phenomenal era to be a Magic fan when Dwight Howard was on this team, and I was lucky enough to be able to witness some of it, and man, it was great. It was great. Dwight, thank you for everything that you've done to this organization. We would not have a Paulo Banchero, a Franz, a rebrand without Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was a key part to that 2010s culture of the Orlando Magic. And 2000s, 2010, he just came in like that perfect middle. But that decade of Dwight Howard, those 8 years, man, phenomenal. It was a phenomenal experience. I wish it didn't end the way it did, but you know what? It's just phenomenal to say that I got to witness that peak when Dwight Howard was at his best, and he had Orlando on his chest. Y'all already know it's your man Hollywood, just an Orlando Magic fan, and like always, that's a wrap, baby. Play my song. Hollywood, and it's evident I am just a Magic fan. Old Town, I'ma represent. Taking charge, go commando. Now we living in Miami, but you know I rep Orlando. Oak Ridge, yeah, it lives in me. Walking down the road, passing by OBT. 407 every day, it stay on repeat. Blue in my blood, ain't no stop.